patient, everybody. I'll call the Administration and Finance Committee to order. The first order of business, all 5 members are present, and our first item of business is item number 23, which is an ordinance to assign grant management duties to the Finance Director Controller.
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 24 is a resolution to create grant management policy.
Move for approval.
Second. We have a motion and a second, and as far as discussion, to give a little bit of a background here, that we didn't have a whole lot of specified rules as far as how to apply for a grant, who can apply for a grant, what approvals are required. This codifies that, and I think most importantly to share for our council that all grants must be approved by us, by the council. That's my concern, to not only have continue our oversight function, but also to know what's going on. That's an important element. So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Sure. Yes, Alderman Weigel.
That doesn't include police and fire grants.
So it does, to the extent that it would still. I see I'm pausing for a moment. The language that I read was included the whole city. It did not exclude police and fire at all. So my answer would be it does include police and fire, unless somebody has a different idea on that.
Yeah, I actually don't know the exact answer to that question, because I don't know how the Police and Fire Commission interacts with this particular situation. For reference, Patrick brought up the question about what about the CDA? What if the CDA wants to approve a grant? Technically, the CDA is separate, and they have their own policies, so they are free to move forward with those particular grants. But we'll definitely have to double check on where the PFC falls for this particular policy.
And that would probably go for the library also, too, then.
Now they have their own board as well. Well, this does include that our council approves them, which would probably, obviously you're getting money from another source in order to fulfill our mission. That's what we're going to want to say. We're going to say yes, but yeah, it is important in our oversight role. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 25 is a resolution to approve an amendment to fiscal year 2016-21 annual plan of community development block grant program relative to allocating $140,000 in contingency funding for the CDBGA annual plan for creation of a new street lighting, pedestrian, and improvement activity. And it's Steve, he sent us an email about this. And Steve, can you just give us the highlights for folks that might not have received that email?
Sure. Thanks, Alderman. In February, Council approved a $200,000 substantial amendment, and then the bids came in on June 1st for the street lighting project. And the bids came in much higher at $388,000. Now, so we had adjusted to come back for an additional $140,000 to help fill some of that gap, but there's still some additional costs as part of this project. There's another $30,000 inspection fee, and the cost of converting from an aluminum pole to a steel pole is likely going to be another $50,000. So in total, this street lighting project, the way it's been designed and bid, would be roughly, we'd need about close to $400,000 to complete this project between 68th and 70th and Beecher Street. Now it is something that, for this, you can I guess take it or leave it. To my understanding that on the Public Works agenda tonight, item 32, there's a similar matter. Those are the bids that were received from the contractor, and it's my understanding that engineering is recommending that those bids be rejected, and you can always go back to the drawing board next year. It's our understanding that those streetlights themselves on Beecher Street are going to be redone. And there'll be a new light pole standard. It could be a better time to do this string lighting project at a future date, maybe in alignment with that street construction project or street lighting project. However, So you have, I guess you have options though. With this item tonight, item 25, you have the option of, I guess, just flat out rejecting it, place it on file, or you could approve the additional $140,000. We could keep the project open to then perhaps utilize at a future date once we get a new bid, maybe for a different way of doing the street lighting. So I guess there's two options, which I guess that second option I didn't include in my email, but thank you for the opportunity to address any questions. I'm happy to.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
I move the resolution be placed on file.
Yeah.
Second.
Sure, and with the understanding that staff will come back with something next year, hopefully, that I think well, this is still a project we want to do, that Beecher Street really is a great area, and this will really be a way to highlight that area. But yeah, find out a way to do it cheaper, right? Okay, I have a motion and a second to place on file. Any further
Mr. Chair?
discussion? Yes, please.
This is part of the Complete Streets. Is that what this grant is under?
This is actually community development
Oh, the
block grant.
community, okay.
So we have some
Right.
Unallocated funds from 2021 that we would put forth towards a project. And in this case, we are proposing this Beecher string lighting project. Yeah.
And has it been thought about, I just bring this up as I was, what's the best way to phrase it? Volunteering on my corner during the bike race. I had a few residents come up and talk about cars speeding down Beecher. We know that one ran into a building. Has it been talked about? I understand. I love Beecher Street. I hang out there. Thoroughly enjoy some of the places. And has it been thought about before we maybe look at beautifying it to make it a bit safer first, and then we can cross the bridge of, putting up lights?
That's a good point, and it's something that we've chatted a little bit with engineering about too, as maybe a future project, whether it be part of the string lighting project or separate completely. It would be that traffic calming,
Yeah.
making it safer for people. Yeah.
We did get an estimate on, sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
but we did get an estimate for the paint and then poles that we've done in another area of the city, and that was around $50,000. So that's why it wasn't, we were already going the other direction here with the amount of money. But I did want to note that the program got funded because we have money from CDBG activities that didn't use their entire budget. And this was part of the CIP program to do lighting on Beecher. So we moved $200,000 of program dollars of CDBG that were unspent to this activity. And that's where the 140 comes. Now, we also have another issue with the block grant program called timeliness. HUD is all about spending money, not saving money. And come September, we might not be meeting our timeliness ratio because we don't have activities drawing down the money fast enough. And this project slowing down may cause some review. And that's why I advised Steve this afternoon putting the 140,000 into the activity, because right now it's not sitting in any activity.
Can that funds not be used for bump outs and other
It can be used
items?
for bump outs and all those things, yes.
Maybe if we don't think about the light and we're gonna lose the money, again, if we put 140, right, or whatever was contingency, we bring it back next year, it could have timeliness issues. It could go way up. It could hopefully go down.
Or we may not have the money.
Yeah, right. So that's why if we know one thing is for sure
Right.
is safety, couldn't we start going down that path before we lose it?
The lighting project is part of the city's lighting improvement project.
Oh,
So the lighting that will be going through that area is the upgrading to LED that we're working on. So we probably wouldn't want to do those until if they have to dig up areas and run wires, and that's probably I'd have to check with engineering how they could phase that. Sorry to add that.
So, that's a good point that you make there, Patrick. How does the council want to proceed? Yeah, certainly. I think it would be a good idea to allocate this money. Yeah, Alderman Weigel.
Other things to consider with this project is that those are gonna be unique poles there. And we're gonna have the same issue that we have with the downtown, that when something happens to one of those poles, whether it's accident or nature or whatever, we're gonna have to go find another pole to match that. The lights don't last forever. My understanding is you can expect a 5-year lifespan on those string lights. Those are both expenses that are gonna fall to the taxpayers of the city of West Dallas. That's not gonna be covered by CDBG. The CDBG money could be transferred over to Liberty Heights, so that money wouldn't be lost. It would be spent in a different project in our city.
We could have another project, but we're not ready with, as far
Right.
with that one as we are with this one.
Yeah. And this is 2 blocks? Is it 20 light poles? That's a lot of money. I was okay with it when it started, but there's a point where it just gets to be too much. That's how I feel about it, so.
Alderman Lysick, you wanted to say something?
No, other than I agree with Alderman Weigel, and I think that the Community Block Grant Committee can find another purpose for those funds, and so I would suggest that they do that.
So we still want to proceed and place on file
Yes.
is the gist from the committee? All right. Any further discussion? Then all those in favor of placing on file?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 26 is a resolution authorizing the issuance of the sale of $4.315 million in general obligation promissory notes, Series 2022A. We have a motion and a second, and one item for further explanation. Jason explained to me that Ehlers did the sale today, and the amount will be $4.27 million. That's a $45,000 savings for us, $45,000 to the good. And so yeah, great. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 27 is a resolution to amend policy number 1402 relating to the completion and extension of probationary periods. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 28 is a resolution authorizing the executive director of the Economic Development Program to amend the landscape design and architectural services contract with Parkitecture and Planning LLC for conceptual plans and construction documents for a 4-season shelter at Liberty Heights Park in the amount not to exceed an additional $65,080.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I don't know if I was understanding it correctly. So it was originally quoted at $13K, and now it's $65K, right? No.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Mr. Chairman, what they did originally was work with the state. They had to submit a packet to the state of Wisconsin Historical Preservation Historical Society. And because we were looking to use community development block grant funds to upgrade the pavilion, the first question is always if it's historical, which it was on a list that is eligible, the pavilion at Liberty Heights, to be historical, then you would have to preserve the facility. And the state of the facility is in, per the report that we have on our city's facilities, it's in poor shape. And the state agreed. And he worked, our consultant put that packet together. That was the first scope. This scope is now to prepare the plans to design what the shelter is, budget, and oversee it all the way through completion. But not the construction of it, but this is the actual design and the scope to do that.
So we'll get build plans out of this?
Yes,
Is there a neighborhood charrette or something?
there will be that as well.
Neighborhood,
Yes.
design?
The first one was take the input that we did as staff, design something, and then we'll meet with the neighborhood associations and general those interested in what this facility would look like, so that we have it laid out, and then if there's any modifications to that plan. And that was hopefully by July.
We have a motion?
Yeah, I forgot. Do we have a motion?
No.
Okay,
Move approval.
Richard. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to item 29 is a resolution approving the terms and conditions of an economic development forgivable loan to Greeby's Bakeries located at 5132 West Lincoln Avenue, West Dallas, Wisconsin, in the amount not to exceed $100,000. funded with CDBG CV2 funds.
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
This isn't the second one, right? Did they get two?
Oh, they have
This
not
is-
received any assistance.
This is
for
the
any of
first
COVID.
one from the CBGD CV2.
This was the pot of money that we received from the state of Wisconsin.
Right.
And the other two entities that we supported with COVID impacts were the Holiday Inn Express,
Right.
and the second one was Rapinas.
Rapinas.
And then the third is Gravy's reached out during the COVID crisis and represented the impacts and the layoffs that took place.
Motion to, oh, you guys did that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And item 30 is the status of accepting credit and debit cards for payment at all city facilities.
Will be placed on file.
Well, let's talk about this. Jason, you're the nearest guy. Well, no, I think we know that you're working on it, and you're getting closer.
I actually haven't been,
No, just Jason, just say yes.
I'm making it happen.
Don't just say
I
Tell us the truth.
I know Corrine, the treasurer, is the point person on that, and yeah, of course, she's not here with us. They are getting closer. That is the truth, Alderman Weigel. Yeah, and they know that it's an important thing for us from the comments from staff.
It is 2022.
For crying out loud, yes.
I did hear an update. This is, I heard an update that we have a new, I think, an intern in IT potentially that just installed some credit card machines, I think at the CSC or figured out how to do that. So, yeah, we're continuously making progress.
Thank you. That's what we want to hear. Yeah, thank you. All right, and yeah, thank you, Alderman Lysick. Had a motion to place on file. Can we have a second on that? Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Anything else to properly come before the Administration and Finance Committee?
We adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Safety and development will come to order.